Hello, nomads. Welcome to the frontier. My name is Eric. That's Sheriff Eric. Deputy. No, Sheriff. Sheriff is better. Sheriff Eric. This week I have with me Deputy Brandon.
Either of you need medication attention?
Fucking creepy bear guy.
And I also have with me Marshall Dave.
The ground's too hard. They wanted a decent funeral. They should have gotten themselves killed in the summer.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta sound like I'm out of breath too. Well, if you don't know what those quotes are from, talking about True Grit.
True
True Grit.
Feels good. It's like it was made to be said that way.
This is not the original True Grit that came out in 1969. This is the remake that came out in 2010, starring Jeff Bridges, Haley Steinfeld, Matt Damon, Josh Brolin. Banger of a cast.
It ends there.
Yeah. Everybody, all good performances all around.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, Brandon, you brought this one to the table. We've done a Western before with Unforgiven, which was really fun. I like that. I enjoyed that one a lot.
And the Hateful Eight.
Oh, Hateful Eight. I completely forgot about the Hateful Eight as well. Yes. I like Westerns. I'm a big fan of Westerns, so I was looking forward very much to this one. But yeah, before we get into
It's
that,
a weird genre.
yeah.
Like, I just feel like it's overlooked a lot. Like, we do a lot of sci-fi stuff. We do a lot of action stuff. But like Westerns, it's not like
a
they're
little
few
bit
and far between. Because like
it's a little bit niche.
Yellowstone is crushing it right now. But
Westerns were bigger back in like the 60s, John Wayne's era, you know, Steve McQueen, whatever, the big Western stars. But yeah, I feel like the Western genre has died out a little bit. Bonanza, all those old shows.
Oh, God.
But yeah, we've gotten some good Westerns, you know, in recent years. They are few and far between, but
Dave brought up Yellowstone. The TV show is killing it.
Hugely popular, but it's not like an old West Western though. It's like a modern Western.
Oh, okay.
It's not set in the old West.
They're doing a prequel to that or something like that. It's like 18 something. I forget what that was called.
Oh, right.
There's another one coming out with more Western-y stuff.
Or Western.
Yeah, well, I know we'll get into it, but it's refreshing to experience a Western story, even if it's like Red Dead Redemption 2, which came out a few years ago. If for video games, you got something. Netflix has had like Godless and all that stuff. There's other ways to experience the Western storytelling. But this movie, yeah, it's a timepiece, takes place in the 1800s, and it's so romantic and so, like you said, niche, and it is. But it feels good. It's like when you go a long time without having like a Coke.
Yeah, I have.
I don't drink Coke anymore. But man, on a hot summer day, you have a Coke. It's like
refresh. Yeah,
these are good once in a while, you know. And it's like that with a Western. It's just like I feel all the time, but a good one really does scratch that itch sometimes. I don't know. So I'm glad
thoughts
you guys
on the genre and this movie as a whole. It's a Coen Brothers movie to boot. Like that kind of takes it over the edge.
Yeah, which I forgot. I forgot that they did this remake.
Yeah. So, but we'll get into all that in Act 2. But first, we'll check in with our listeners over on the socials at Nomads of Fantasy. If you want to follow us over there on Twitter, just ask what everybody thought of True Grit, the 2010 remake. Kyle Savage said, "I really enjoy it. I was pretty Western averse for a long time, but the era in which this came out, along with Appaloosa, which I've never heard, and 310 to Yuma, which is a good movie, really turned me around and made me appreciate the genre more. Bad Movies Rule podcast. I get that right. The original was such an important movie to me and my dad that I refused to watch this. Still haven't seen it. Wow. I would say
Yeah. Give it a try.
give it a try.
It seems like it's pretty faithful. I've never seen the original one, but
I watched the original today. I didn't finish it. I got halfway, and it is very interesting how one's rated G. The 1969 John Wayne version.
They're going out to hunt to kill somebody. Is rated G.
Yeah, but it's just they're all like smiling and would you look at her on that horse? Like it's just like they're just like joking. It's not the same. Like this movie.
Grittier.
Totally different.
Even way grittier than.
But they show a lot of those scenes. Like it's similar. It's just like a Disney version, made for TV version. It's a little safer versus like maybe more raw Coen version.
Right. We'll get into it, but apparently this is more of a faithful adaptation of the book as opposed to the movie that was, based on the book.
Sounds like it.
So
yeah.
We got a live social section here over on Twitch. Already Fine, one of our good dudes in our Discord.
Yes.
nomadsfantasy.com/Discord if you want to join us there. It says, growing up watching John Wayne westerns with my grandpa, I loved the original. Wondered how this one would hold up. I ended up loving the remake. So there you go. Already Fine loved the original, and he loved this remake as well. So
yeah,
I would say
I think it's cool.
Bad Movies Rule podcast. Check it out.
Yeah,
and it's always fun to compare and contrast, like a modern take on it versus a 60s western. There's obviously gonna be some differences there, but
acting.
yeah.
It was a little cornier back then.
John Wayne's acting was, I don't know. It's interesting, I'll say the least.
Eddie Arnold said, rarely can you go wrong with a Coen film. Love this one. I haven't seen the original, but I've heard from many people that while they like both, they like the Coen film better. So there you go. More people advocating for the remake.
I could see it aging better because it seemed the more faithfulness of it seems. I wrote that down. It's got like slavery and mistreating of Native American. Like it's not a sugar-coated Western.
True.
For sure.
No.
Grit.
Yes, very gritty.
And Mackie Rat says, yeah, I saw a preview screening of it, and they edited out a scene that was like a close-up of the father's Masonic collectibles. I don't know what that means. I get it, but it was a nice shot. Early on, the mother is like, make sure your father is buried in his apron or something.
Sure. I guess.
That's cool. You got to see a preview screening of it. But,
yeah, that happens sometimes. So, stuff gets cut out. And I bet a lot of it was cut out in this movie. I feel like when you're making something like this, you probably just shoot a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But can't be too slow and too drawn out.
Yep. Artie Fine over on Twitch also says, I also appreciate this one an extra bit because it's practically set in my backyard in pre-Oklahoma territory. Not many movies set here, which he appreciated for Ghostbusters Afterlife as well, because he pointed out that took place in Oklahoma as well.
Yeah.
So he shouted out Oklahoma, which you really don't see many movies set out that way. So that's cool. All right, yeah, that's all we had for socials. Dave, I know you mentioned an extra social section possibly.
Oh yes,
going back to last week.
Last week, we were talking in the Discord. I
listener mail
that my mother watched Stand By Me. I was kind of curious to get the opinion of somebody that grew up in like the 50s and what their thoughts on it. But they said, her and my dad just finished watching Stand By Me, and it was a blast from the past. Ooh. They both liked it. She still remembers who her friends were in junior high at that age. A bunch of girls who came from another primary school who became good friends later in life.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
It sounds like it was kind of like a little time capsule for some of the older generation, which is
And I wonder if she had that thing where like, I haven't thought of them in years.
I feel like
7 years.
That movie just evokes that, Yeah, it evokes that feeling for sure.
I'm very proud of that episode.
Cool.
That was a good conversation.
Yeah, definitely. If you haven't listened to it, listen to our last episode on Stand By Me because it was fun. Joined by Nikki over there. It was great. Good conversation. Nikki Cones. Nikki Pinecone. All right.
Well, we talked about old episodes, but the next episode, if people want to play along as well.
Oh, yes. Schedule. I almost forgot,
Next
Dave.
week,
Please.
Next week, we're continuing the Summer of Arnold. with
Yes.
Some Running Man. Another Stephen
Oh,
King
yeah.
movie. Another Arnold movie. It's the best of both worlds.
Can't wait
That
for
one
that.
is fantastic. I can't wait. I haven't seen that in ages. Can't wait to see that again. And then closing out the month with some Tarantino, watching some Reservoir Dogs.
Two
Kind of round up.
movies
Round
that
up.
have been like on my list of movies to watch for years that I haven't gotten around to. So
See?
I
It's
can't
the Summer
wait.
of Eric, too.
It's the Summer of Eric. I'm filling all my
Getting all your
holes over
holes.
here.
Fill those
right.
holes, buddy.
That's
There you
right.
go.
Cool. Awesome. Can't wait. Well, this week we're talking
Saddle
about
up, partner.
Saddle up. Saddle up. We're talking about True Grit. Right after we come back from this little break, I gotta. What do you call the bathroom? The Jakes. I gotta hit the Jakes. Jakes occupied. Right after this.
you gotta get grittier.
Hey,
Gotta get grittier down here.
we are back to talk about True Grit. This movie came out in the year 2010. This is technically an adaptation / remake of. So it's an adaptation of the novel, which came out in 1968 by let me get the author correct here, by Charles Portis. So 1968 novel.
Portier.
Is it Portier? I don't know.
I don't know.
It's Portis. So I just assume it's Portis, but
Not Clinton Portis, but okay.
1968, and then the movie True Grit came out a year later, which is crazy. 1969. So the Coen Brothers movie, written and directed by the Coen Brothers. And they claim it's more of an adaptation of the book than the actual movie that was based on the book. So they're sticking more closely to the story of the book in this one. But it was, the year it came out, it did pretty good at the box office. 35.
Steven Spielberg was the executive.
He was an executive producer on this one. Yeah, I saw that as well.
So it's a good,
quite
it's a
well
good
in the
team.
awards still. It was
Yeah.
nominated for tons of stuff.
A bunch of stuff. Yeah, budget was $35 million. Box office raked in $252.3 million.
How come you guys didn't see it? Because I saw it.
It's just one of those that I'm like, it's weird because this was the prime time for me for Westerns, because 2010 is the same year as Red Dead Redemption, the first Red Dead Redemption game. So that is the thing
that's
that
handy.
sort of got me into Westerns to start out with, was playing Red Dead Redemption. And then so like this movie may have come out, like I think it came out in it came out December 2010. So it probably did come out right after Red Dead Redemption. So I don't know. I guess I just happened to miss it because I was in that Western mode at this time. And I remember seeing like previews for it. I'm like, oh, that looks really good. But I just never got around to seeing it. So I don't know. And like I said, that's kind of what got me into Westerns and
Westerns
more
just
curious
aren't high
about
on my
Westerns. But
list.
I just watched it because Jeff Bridges was in
I mean,
I gotta see
we didn't
this
even
'cause
say the
It's pretty
cast.
amazing.
Jeff Bridges, Haley Steinfeld, Matt Damon, fucking Josh Brolin,
Which
like
I
stacked
kind of
cast.
take offense.
Well, we
it is
said
stacked.
their names earlier, but it is they're all good actors.
Listen,
Like,
I'm
that's
two
why I
Bud
wanted-
Lights.
not-
I'm two Bud Lights in, so I didn't remember.
So I wanted you guys to see this movie because one, I liked how we talked about Unforgiven and
Yeah.
Hateful Eight, and I
Yeah.
knew we liked Western movie storytelling, and I thought, man, that was a good one. And you know how I am with kid acting,
I do know how you are.
but Stand By Me has great kid acting in it, and I don't know how old she was,
Like,
but
I think
She was the same
14,
age.
13, 14.
She when she auditioned, she was 13 years old. So like throughout the production, she was 13, 14.
One thing I do take offense to is like I'm looking at the movie posters now, and there's a couple different ones, and she's not like her name isn't on any of them, which is kind of, I mean, young actress coming up, but like Josh Brolin, Matt Damon, Jeff Bridges. Are like
I
the
mean,
top
you
ones,
gotta
but
have the
Josh Brolin
big
is
names up
barely
front.
in it.
He's barely in the movie, and like
I didn't
she's
even know
the
it was
main
him.
character of the entire movie. Like,
Like when I saw him, I
I
didn't
mean-
even recognize him.
yeah, that's fucking Thanos taking a shit in the creek.
Yeah, I mean I get it. You're marketing a movie, so you want to put
Yeah.
the big name actors on the on the front page. And like I said, this was like her first movie. One of her first roles. So like she was an up
Haley
and coming
Steinfeld.
actor, Haley Steinfeld. Yeah,
Now she's dating her
But she's-
quarterback. So
Yeah.
Josh Allen.
The
Yeah,
little-
her and Josh Allen are in cahoots over
Bills.
there. Yep. So, but no, she.
Well,
I mean,
anyway, she killed it.
she did
killed it.
amazing
That's why I
in
wanted
this
you guys to
Absolutely.
see it. Like the acting it's directed well. It's a good remake. It's a Western. I knew you'd like it. I don't know. I wanted you to see Jeff Bridges because Eric hasn't seen Big Lebowski.
I know. I just told
And
you guys
that's
that
another
today.
movie. That's a Coen flick.
mhm.
That has Jeff Bridges, and he's outstanding, and that has an excellent cast. So But yeah, I don't.
It's got the same look. Like, take the eye patch off, and you basically have the
Oh.
dude. You know,
Well, and one's high, the other one, this one's drunk.
true. Just
Yeah.
switching it up.
One thing I do love about, I mean, this movie specifically, and just Western stories in general, like you were saying, Brandon, before, they're easygoing. It's like popping a Coke on a summer day, you know. Like this was an pretty easy watch for me because the story is simple. It's basically just a story about this girl, 14-year-old girl. Her father gets killed, and she wants revenge.
She wants revenge, but
She wants
but
revenge.
she's not a pushover. She's a smart
I love that
strong
about her character. Yeah.
female, and she's like, I'm outsmarting everyone around me.
It's
Yeah,
pretty hilarious.
exactly.
The way
She
that
knows her
fucks
way
with
around.
people.
She knows what she's doing.
Yeah.
The horse trading scene where like she's
Yes.
going
That's
back
one of
and
my
forth with
favorite.
the banker.
One of my favorite scenes.
Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, this chick is not to be messed with, not to be trifled with. It's
So well, hold on. So if we're gonna start like kind of, it seems like we all like this movie, but if we could just maybe sum up the plot and then
I feel like we already did.
yeah, that was
It's a
I mean,
14-year-old girl that her father gets killed by this dude named Tom Chaney.
She gets a marshal.
He
there are
hires.
two. Right. So, but you have Jeff Bridges, who is this marshal. He's an older marshal, and he's known for finding and killing guys and bringing them in, mostly dead.
Which
and
I love
also
that
drunk.
that court scene too when we're first introduced to
Oh, it's great.
Cogburn and his character. Like
That-
that
Much
outlines.
longer in this remake. The original, it's not. It's much shorter. This
It just
one,
it does
much
such a
longer.
good
It's
job
really good.
of it does such a good job of like giving us like a taste of what his character is like, and like he's basically lying through his teeth about what happened in the whatever he's being prosecuted for.
Killing a bunch of people.
Yeah. See, so
You can tell
his
he
character
gets-
basically just kill, shoot first, ask questions later.
Yeah. Which I mean makes the kind of perfect hire for Maddie the girl.
And that's Rooster
Rooster
God.
Cogburn.
Cogburn. Cogburn. And then the opposite of him, another person that's brought into the story, played by Matt Damon.
The beef.
The beef.
The-
The beef.
Yeah.
The Texas
It's like
Ranger.
LaBeouf, but he wants to be called LaBeef to make it American sounding or something like that. They say that in the original version, but this one they kind of just go right to LaBeef. Yeah, and he's from Texas. He's just like a bounty hunter.
He's a Texas
Texas
Ranger.
Ranger.
Mhm.
He's a Texas Ranger. That's right. Yes, he's a Texas Ranger, and the two of them have two different philosophies on how to go and hunt down a guy. But Maddie, she wants revenge. She wants this guy, and she's like, this guy will at least kill him or like get them or something like that. So she goes with Rooster.
Well, she doesn't want, LaBeef to get involved because for him, it's his own
He's for
motivations.
other crimes.
To take him back to Texas too. She wants him fucking hung for her father, not for the guy that they're looking for. Basically, he shot a senator too, and that's
Yeah, he's
the
wanted.
beef is after for the
And
senator.
a dog, which he should just be hanged for,
And a fucking
outright.
dog.
Yeah, right. Right. And you think, hey, everybody, let's get together. Let's all do this, as a team. But that doesn't work out really quick. So, I don't know. Hilarity ensues.
I love the rivalry between Cogburn and LaBeef. It's so good.
Because it's like the insults, the country insults that they throw back and forth at each other when he's like talking shit about each other's horses, talking shit about how you couldn't shoot a rifle, you couldn't hit
I
a man
love
at
Just
300
the
yards.
Old West language that they're using, like
It is
yeah.
very, very timely. I mean, because like I said,
so
before,
proper
they-
in like.
Yeah,
there's
they don't
still, like,
use
slavery
conjunctions. It's like I do not know that man. It's just the way they talk is so hilarious. I do not know him.
Well, hold your tongue if you know it was wise for you.
like
What?
he gets LaBeef gets a switch and starts spanking Maddie
Dude.
at one point. I'm like,
He's
what
he's
is going on? Like,
Captain Justice over there.
but like you see the way the native was getting treated when they're doing the hanging, like it's
Oh, yeah.
very, it's
Oh
very
my God.
of the
It's
time.
funny, but it's fucked up, right?
it's fucked.
'Cause,
Yeah,
like, you let
it's
these
fucked up.
two white guys say,
Say their piece, yeah.
I'll,
Their
They
last
say their
will
piece.
and test. Yeah, their
they
last
go to the
words.
Native American dude. And he's like, I just want to say one thing. And they put the thing over.
Instantly put the bag over
He
his
just
head.
starts singing in there. He's just like
That's
fucked
fucked up.
It's funny, but
But,
it reflects, how
It's-
it was
it's
back then.
It's
Because
funny
of
'cause, like,
how
how
outrageous
could we
it
be
is,
that? Right.
Like what
Right,
the fuck?
exactly.
Like I don't know. These
And that-
days.
I mean, that's the kind of the humor that was thrown out throughout this movie as well. Which I thought that one misconception that I had going into this movie. I mean, I didn't know it was a Coen Brothers movie for one, which they always throw that like dark humor into their movies.
There's dark humor snuck in there. Yep.
So I didn't know it was a Coen. I thought this movie was gonna be like a straight up like, I mean, it's called True Grit. So I thought it was gonna be
Right,
much
it was
more
like
violent,
Unforgiven.
much more dark, much more like somber tone. But I was pleasantly surprised when like the tone is much more lighthearted, even though it's like some serious themes going on. Like this girl's father
Yes.
was murdered and she wants revenge for her father's killer. Like there's
Right.
this like light tone to it
Right.
throughout the entire movie, and like everybody's kind of joking with each other and jabbing each other, and I enjoyed that. It was refreshing.
I thought it would be
So-
kind of what it was. The one thing that I like about like just I guess country movies in general, they always have a lot of really good like wide shots and a lot of good I don't know like the dialogue shots. Just the shots seem more interesting because they're all shot on location, which you don't have to do a lot. You got a lot of horses riding through fields and horses riding over mountains and stuff. But even just like
Campfire scenes.
the river scene or whatever, like that's like you're not faking that kind of stuff. But there was
Was
part of it
nominated for
when
best cinematography.
Was it? Okay,
Mhm.
there you go. Part that I did see some CG in was really bad, but that was way later in the movie. So
Which part are you referring
when
to?
they're riding back to town after the snake bite,
Oh, okay.
like you can see some really bad green screen, and that's the only time I ever noticed it during the entire movie, though. But everything else is like
I don't know if I noticed.
Yeah,
riding
really
through the
notice either.
forest with like with some really cool shots. Like there's a lot of different, cool wide angles, nice vistas. I guess in all country movies, though, they've got that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I want to go back to Eric was saying though about the tone, because like it's it is serious and gritty, but it's like a little Tarantino like kind of added to it, right? And I think that's what the Coens brothers do, is like they kind of exaggerate some of these characters. Jeff Bridges is ridiculous, but he's funny. He's funny throughout the whole movie, and so is LaBeef, right?
Mhm.
And even when the characters meet each other, it's kind of comical. So you have LaBeef sitting in the room staring at Maddie,
That was
and
fucking
she's
creepy.
getting ready to, she's sleeping with the old
She
lady
woke up
up
and
in that room.
There's a dude
And
smoking
he's
a
just
pipe
staring
in
at
the
her.
room.
Well, and he even said like I had half a mind to give you a kiss or whatever while you were sleeping. And I'm like, what the fuck are you
Right.
talking about, dude?
Right, which that line is verbatim from the original, I noticed, but it's a weird line. And I was like, wow, that is weird. Why it's in both versions too? Like they kept that in. But anyways, because she's like a third of his age. Anyways, I like how she outsmarts him. They're talking about chasing down the guy that killed her father, which is what was his
Tom
name?
Chaney, or Chelmsford, as he's also referred to.
Yeah, so Cheney, right? And he's like, he's a very smart guy. He's a very crafty guy and stuff like that. He's like, I've been tracking this guy for like years or months or whatever. I think 6 months. And she's like, I found him dull. It's like, well, it's an act. And she's like it did not seem like an act. Basically, she's saying that the guy's an idiot. She's so smart. And she knows that, and she's insulting LaBeef right to him, and he's like, "Oh, I'm having a hard time getting him." It's just like, "No, idiot! Like you're dumb.
You just stink at your job."
How's this guy outwitted you at every turn? Blah 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 blah. Yeah, it was pretty
throwing
good
in
there.
his face.
She got a lot
that's
of
how
those
these
lines
characters meet.
The whole movie, though, like she outwits everybody. She's one step ahead in every conversation that she's kind of in. Which bad guys, good guys.
Which helps drive the movie, because if she was just helpless, just bumbled around and like didn't do anything, like this is a boring character. But the fact that she's
got that grit,
strong minded,
Right.
got that grit.
Maybe
Reminds
she's got
me
the
of
true grit,
yeah. I mean, I think that that I think you could interpret the title of this movie, book, whatever, in a lot of different ways, just based on the characters. But yeah, it reminds me of like when we were talking about like The Shining or something, and I forgot her name, the mom character. She's just like Wendy, yeah.
Wendy.
She's just like a weak, bumbling character throughout the entire movie. I mean, she kind of has her moment in the end, but like, it's much more. It makes for a much better character when you have like especially since she's the lead in this movie, Haley Steinfeld's character,
Yes.
Maddie. Like she has to be like a strong lead, and I think that just made her character so much more interesting because she's so young and she's standing, she's all by herself. She doesn't really have anyone else to support her because like the only
Out
people
of her
she has
element.
the only people she has left is her little brother and her mom, who basically she said wouldn't really do any of this stuff. So she's got to take
smarter
care
than
of
her
it.
mom,
She's
and
got
she
to
fucking knows it. She knows it.
She's got to
Said Haley
step up and
was-
take care of this business.
Haley was cast from among 15,000 applicants that applied for the role. So
hmm
Oh my god.
I can't imagine
That's
looking like talking
crazy.
to that many people, but it's insane. But yeah, I mean, they kind of did the same thing when they did the Potter movies too. But like I don't know, being handpicked for that role is pretty impressive. You
That
okay
is
there?
pretty. Yeah, going back again to the tone, I was surprised when I saw that this movie was rated PG-13. I was completely expecting R, like a hard R for sure. Because like, I mean, with other Coen Brothers movies, like I'm thinking of like Fargo or something, much more violent and dark,
Yeah.
much darker. So again, like I was going in expecting something completely different, which I think maybe this is part of the reason. I mean, even the Coen Brothers said, and like critics have said, this is part of the reason why this movie, I think, found success, is because it was rated PG-13, so you could take your, I don't know, kids or like teenage
I had my kids
son
watching
to
this.
see
Hey,
it.
this is what it was like. This is what it was like. You don't like it, I mean, don't.
Right. It's not like it's not overly violent.
gotta
It's
tell you.
not, they're not like,
I don't know. I'm telling you.
it's not overly violent. They're not swearing, every other word in this movie. Like it's wholesome, sort of wholesome, and it's like I said, just going back to the tone. It's just like the overall tone of everything
Accessible,
is
yeah.
it's very accessible to a wider audience, and I think
Right.
that works to its benefit for sure.
Yeah, that was probably Spielberg's probably like telling the Coen Brothers, like, yo, if we just, do this, maybe, maybe he was just like, might have a bigger reach
Mhm.
because he targets families most of the time.
Yeah.
Spielberg. So, but yeah, like this movie has a lot of characters. Like as they go hunting down, her killer or her father's killer, you encounter different people. Like you meet Quinn and I forget what the
Moon?
redheaded.
Played
Cabin
by
guys.
Domhnall Gleeson, again returning.
Yes, I
Oh,
noticed.
it was.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it looked familiar. No shit.
Yep. I was like, I know. Is that Domhnall? Yeah, that's one of the Gleeson boys, for
Yeah,
sure.
it is.
Oh,
Yep. Yep. And it was a good scene. It was just you see Rooster like kind of, he's pretty open to letting Maddie like be with him on this journey at this point. So he's using her like, hey, smoke him on, all that stuff, and he shoots his way through. Anyways, they get inside, they sit down at that table, and I love scenes like this.
Me too.
Because the tension's there.
High
It's
tension,
just like,
yeah.
where are we going with this? And you just see so much about the characters. And really, I mean, mostly it's Rooster, right?
Yep.
Like, he is quick to shoot. You see why he kills so many people. He doesn't fuck around.
Dude,
He's
I
just
love
like, it's
that.
not worth it.
I love that little
well, he
moment
knows that they
after.
know.
Yeah, even after, like, as soon as he shot him, he's like, shit. Like, he knew he shouldn't have done that. Like, he needed more information out of him, but he was like, shoot first, ask questions later, And, that shows a lot of his character.
Chopped the guy's fucking hand off. That was a nasty scene.
And he could have shot him in the leg or the arm or winged him in the shoulder, but no, he went straight for the kill. He knew that he shouldn't have done that because he still needed information from him. So,
Oopsie doopsie. Can't hunt a criminal without blowing a few faces in.
Yes, but then you got like was it Moon there, and he's like, I'm dying and all that stuff. He's like, yeah, you're dead, you're toast. So he's like, give some information from him. He's like, I'll bury you and all that stuff. That's where your quote came in. It's just like, because like he starts formulating a plan, because like him and LaBeef are like kind of have a beef going. So like they're not working together at this point, and he sets up this trap for, I think it's like,
Because
oh
he tells
man, Pepper's
tells him
gang,
as
right?
he's
Yeah,
dying,
Lucky Ned
like,
Pepper.
that they're on their way essentially.
Yeah, and he's like, I'll just take them all out and be like, I got it. I know what to do. And you're like, yeah, all right. But then instead of those guys showing up to this cabin or whatever, it's LaBeef. And it's a cool shot because you're watching from afar. Tension is still there. I was like,
Mhm.
where is this, where's this going to go?
We
And like, is LaBeef going to die? And
They stay with, Rooster and Maddie. They stay on that
Yeah.
side. They don't show what's happening on, I
you don't
forget
hear what
his
they
name.
say.
On the beef side, yeah, you can't hear what's going on. You don't see what's inside the cabin.
But you
what's
see the guys
after.
on their horses go around them.
Uh-huh.
You're like, all right, it's not looking good, and this guy's got one eye. Like, what is he gonna do in the dark with one eye, and with this rifle, and
Right.
but
Yep.
he takes the shot. I mean, like he hits LaBeef in the
I think it gets-
process.
Hmm.
everybody except for the one guy that they're going for, Cheney.
Yeah, 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 yeah. But he gets a good amount of them. I don't know, but those moments, it's just like, and then the guy with the bear suit, it's just there's all
What the
these.
fuck?
Forrester, he was so fucking. I thought he was
It was
gonna.
weird. It was in the middle for nothing. Like, I don't know what was going on.
It was a
with that.
weird scene.
I thought
Yeah.
for sure he was gonna be like the savior at the end of the movie. Like he was gonna ride up and show up and like end up saving, Maddie or something from her snake bite, because he was a doctor, dentist, whatever.
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Yeah.
So I was like, that dude's definitely gonna make a return somewhere to, help out somebody. But no, it was
I don't
just a
understand
random.
how
It was
he's-
just a random scene, random weird scene when he came
It's
up
so
upon them.
weird. Like, what is he talking about? He shows up, they're being tracked, and they're like, okay. He shows up, and he's picking up bodies.
He
and
traded-
Bought the body off the Chinaman.
Well, he traded. Well, no, they cut down that guy in the tree. And then the Indian dude rolled up and was like, can I have this body, basically? And then the Forrester
Practice his
guy.
medicine on it. Yeah.
Well, not before that. Like the other Indian guy, he just wanted to like sell the body or whatever. But he ended up trading the body with the Forrester guy, the weird medical dude.
The bear guy.
Yeah, the bear
man.
guy. And then he was like,
Okay.
he's the one who ended up following, Maddie and Cogburn, because
Okay.
Cogburn told the other Indian guy to shoot off his rifle if somebody's following them. So he did, and then they waited, and then this weird Forrester guy showed up, and he had the same body that they cut down from the tree. so-
Okay. So now you're reminding me of another scene. So speaking of like the Indians in the movie, which I don't know why the first place we stop is like this random house. Maddie stays in the outside. There's two girls, these two Indian girls, and
That was
they're
a
like
boy and a
sitting.
It might have been a boy and a girl. I don't.
Was it a
couldn't
boy and
tell.
a girl?
Might
I
have
don't know. I
been.
thought they were a boy and a girl, but then it looked like two girls in the last shot. Well, anyways, two young kids, and they're sitting there messing around with like I don't know, like a
I
mule
think
or
they're
something.
they're
that.
like loitering or just hanging out. Because I don't know if that's is that an Indian shop that they went to?
I think so.
I thought it was somebody's house. I don't know. But
Yeah,
he
I
goes
think
in
it's
there
their
to talk
house.
to
It's like
somebody.
their house/store. It's like
Oh.
a store, but they live there.
Okay, explain to me about that scene.
I don't know.
Why was he kicking those
I
kids,
don't know.
dude? And he's like legit kicking them. The
"Get
first time I
outta
saw
here."
that scene, I fucking like lost it. I didn't laugh, but I was like, "Whoa, what the fuck?"
I thought they
I
were
don't know.
just like Jawas that were like hanging around the store, loitering, trying to steal
well,
something.
yeah,
Or doing something.
just-
I didn't know. I
yeah.
didn't know if it was like if it was a native shop or if it was just like
I
somebody's
thought it
house out in
was.
the
That's the
wilds.
impression that I got, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe
Mm.
maybe they were just hanging around there, but I don't know. I was confused by that, but it was weird.
Dude.
Another weird scene.
Comes out and he just instantly goes up and kicks a kid in the back. And he's just lands on his head,
Just
just
chucking them
kicking
off
his
the
kids
porch.
around. Yeah. Why
Those
was
kids
he-
don't got the grit? You got to have the grit. You're gonna kick them
But-
kids.
they were also like being like abusive to that horse or that mule that was
Mhm.
there, right?
Oh,
they
and
were,
he
it
cut
was
it
like
free.
Maybe that's why.
yeah,
Yeah,
he didn't like. He was just
that could be the reason.
punishing them, but he
Right.
didn't like that. Which so it's like interesting, right? Because okay, why did he do that? It's about his personality. Okay, you learn he's constantly fucking yapping to Maddie. Oh, I was married. I had
Yeah,
a
he's
kid,
he's
didn't
telling
love
her
me
his
much."
whole life story as they're
He's just
going on
like-
this adventure together.
Yeah, he's like an old guy. He's just chatting about his life.
But I like that because
Like our grandpa.
it gives Maddie and Cogburn. I mean, Maddie is like, you know, you can tell she's kind of like not really listening or whatever.
Right.
She just doesn't really care. But I think those scenes do have some importance in building their relationship together because they are going on this huge adventure and journey, and like it's just the two of them out in the wilderness traveling for days, weeks, I don't know how long this was, months on end, looking for this dude. They're out there together alone, so like of course they're going to build some sort of relationship throughout the movie, throughout their adventures. And obviously I think we see that come back around towards the end because we do realize that Cogburn puts on a tough face, but I think he really does care about Maddie by the end of the movie. So, I think those scenes were important in building their relationship.
Mhm.
But it was still
It's
funny when he
all
was
sort
just
of the-
constantly yammering on about his life.
He's getting towards the end. He's just getting fucking pissed drunk while he's
Oh
just
yeah,
riding on.
drinking whole bottles
that-
of whiskey, leaving the bottles on trees, throwing them in rivers.
Yeah.
That shit would be important to have. But do you guys notice? Did you notice the lawyer? I'm jumping back a little bit. There was a narrator that wrote a letter to Haley to Maddie,
Maddie.
her lawyer. Did you guys recognize that voice in there?
Nah, I don't think so. I know what you're talking
Alright.
about, but
It is J.K. Simmons.
oh,
From-
really? Oh,
I guess
That's pretty cool.
now is he like the farmer's guy, but from
Whiplash. Yeah.
Yeah, I know who J.K. Simmons. Wait, what? What did he do?
When she writes a letter, when she's talking to the banker guy to get the horses or whatever, and she's got to get a
Yeah.
letter from her attorney. The voiceover for the attorney is J.K. Simmons.
Oh shit! I don't even think I.
I should.
noticed
I mean,
that.
his voice is
I
so
had to-
recognizable.
So
Yeah, I
iconic.
should.
I
Yeah.
heard it and I immediately just popped up on my phone. I'm like, I know that is somebody because it had that tone.
No,
to
I
it.
didn't. I didn't
Dude,
catch that
I
the first
love
time around.
how everyone talks in this movie. I love, like that lawyer. Oh, I'm gonna talk like this. I was just like, but they all sound like they're like missing teeth, or they're like, there's
You
like
gotta
always
have
like some
captions
kind of
on.
Oh yeah.
yes.
I sat back down and they weren't on, and I'm like, I can't understand a goddamn word these people are saying. Sometimes.
I mean, I watch everything with captions nowadays, but like this
Yeah.
movie especially, because I went back and watched a couple scenes before we started recording just to refresh myself, and I was just watching them on YouTube and didn't have captions on, and I'm like, what the fuck are they saying? I can't
Insane. I know.
understand. I can't understand Jeff Bridges, especially when he starts getting pissed drunk and slurring his words even more. But like,
Oh, dude,
my
what was
God.
he saying at the end of the movie at that final fire when they're all together? He's like, "I'm out," but he's not saying that. What is he saying? He's just like so hammered in that scene.
Oh, it was. I thought it was something like "I'm out" or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know.
could-
There's so many good Jeff Bridges moments. Oh, one of my other favorite moments of this movie is when when Cogburn and LaBeef have the shooting contest, when they're both trying to
yeah.
prove that who's the better shot, and like fucking takes Jeff Bridges. He throws the bottle up in the air and shoots it, misses. It's on the ground. He shoots it like 3 more times and doesn't hit it until like the 4th shot.
He blames the Chinaman on the bullets.
And then they're throwing the cornbread up in the air. I'm like, that's a waste of cornbread. Why are you
can tell how
shooting all
fucking-
your cornbread?
Shit-faced he is trying to shoot his gun too, because he's just like.
well, he fell off of the
He's
horse.
like a
didn't
fucking-
Yeah, he
you know?
fell off. He's like, he threw it up. Just the way he throws it is so funny. Like the amount of effort he's putting in, and he's like out of breath. And he throws it
Yeah.
up, and he's got to like turn around and find it in the air and try to shoot it.
Dude,
So funny.
two at the same time.
Hold your fire, please. Hold your fire.
Yeah, hold your hand.
So
Or
good.
mind your hand or something like that. Yeah.
That was one of my.
But
one
the
of my favorite
dynamic of the
scenes.
characters is great.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
what I mean. It's just good because it's it looks good, but it has like these characters that are just interesting. They're all well written. They're all well acted.
I mean,
Yeah.
mostly it's just the three of them. Like they're the three main ones.
Mhm.
Like we don't even get to see Tom Chaney. I think it was until like an hour 20 minutes into
was the
movie.
last
Within, like,
20
the
minutes.
last 10 minutes, 20
Yeah.
minutes. Yeah.
Which
Which is
I mean,
fine. You
he's
don't
good.
need a. Yeah.
it's kind of like the trip is like half
Yeah,
of the fun.
The journey is more important
yes.
than the destination,
Yes.
for
There
sure.
you go. Thank you. But yeah, just the three of them, and then you just kind of get people mixed into like that kind of trifecta of that little group, which is, I don't know, just the bickering back and forth between Rooster and LaBeef is just enough.
Some of
just
the
to
best
bring you there.
parts. Yeah, for sure.
Which you know is going to play off at the end of the movie.
Oh,
when
yeah.
it all comes together, and they're all going to like they both save each other, and they respect each other at the end, kind of thing. And
Yeah.
and even Maddie gets like their trust and stuff. But let's actually talk about that last part. I think it's not the weakest part of the movie, but it's just different from the rest of it because it's like it's like this journey. It's them kind of.
It's very
bumbling
much like
along
classic Western. Because I watched the scene from the
Yeah.
original movie, the 1969 movie, just
Yeah.
to compare it to, the climactic scene when
I didn't
Cogburn-
see the end of the original. Okay, so what happens in the original?
It's honestly, it's
I know-
pretty shot for shot with the original. It's just more well done because it's basically the same. Like Cogburn rides up with to the Ned Pepper gang, and it's 1-on-4 essentially.
Oh no shit! Yeah,
So
and the one guy's constantly doing animal sounds.
Yep, they had the same animal
Oh,
sounds
really?
in the original
Yeah,
movie.
weirdo.
That fucking guy. I was wondering what was
So
up with
weird.
that weirdo. Does he even talk, or he just makes?
No,
He didn't
only
say
made
a
animal
word.
sounds.
He just only did animal sounds. But
He did.
honestly, maybe that's part of the reason why it's a little bit weaker because it is pretty shot for shot with the original movie. I mean, obviously I think the remake and modern film sensibilities, like it makes it more dramatic for sure.
Okay.
Because like in the original movie, it's your classic Western. Like they're popping off shots and then the dude falls off the horse and then that's about it. But like it's
Okay.
obviously this movie is shot much better and they make the last like shot with because it ends the same way. Like LaBeef is the one that saves Cogburn at the end because at the end Ned Pepper is standing over him about to shoot Cogburn and then LaBeef saves him with his Sharps rifle. He takes the shot from 300 yards or
Sharps
whatever.
rifle.
But like
yeah.
in this movie it's done
100.
much better because they make it more dramatic and they take it a lot slower because like in the original he just pulls up his rifle, shoots him, and then fucking Ned Pepper falls over and he's dead. But like I really like how they made it dramatic in this movie because like before LaBeef was telling a story about him and his Sharps rifle and he was mounted and took a shot and he missed, but this one he really was taking his time and
Sharps
lining up the
rifle.
shot. Yep. And he got the shot and saved Cogburn at the end there.
So for
That's-
Chaney in that scene though, like he is very minor, right? Like Pepper had more of a
Yeah.
scene than he did. So I thought his acting was really good. It was really interesting, but he was a complete moron. She was right. Like she's like, this guy's not smart. He's not smart enough to be outwitting you. I don't know why the marshal was having the ranger was having a hard time getting this guy. But maybe he just didn't have enough intel. Maybe he was just too by the book to like do it. Maybe like what Brewster does, where he's unorthodox, right? So maybe like the two different styles, like they weren't working, but together. I mean, actually no, not even that though, because it's dumb luck. They're like, we give up, we can't find it. The trail's gone cold, and then she just the next morning goes to get like fucking water in her canteen. She's like, oh, he's right here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Maybe to their credit, they got that far and they were
Well,
close.
LaBeef comes back. He says he went to the river when he heard the gunshot, so that's what drew him LaBeef back. And then we all saw Rooster down there too. So that's when
Yeah,
they come up with
okay.
the plan.
Yep.
come up with the plan, which is pretty. I mean, that was a nice little ending. The snake bite thing, I thought that was kind of weird at the end, where it's just like,
Yeah.
oh, you fell in a hole and there's a whole bunch of fucking snakes in there for no reason.
Well, they were talking about. I mean,
Like,
it's
oh,
like a
why you have that?
kind of like a callback to because they were before they were talking about the snakes and like how they were like putting protection around their camp to keep the snakes out.
Mhm.
And then, I mean, they made a reference to like, oh, Cogburn was like, snakes don't want you. You're too small and bony. You don't got
Small
enough
and bony.
meat
Well, he
enough
does make
meat on your
make a
bones.
comment.
So like it's kind of like it brings it back full circle there. But yeah, I don't know. Sorry,
I
go
don't know. I
ahead.
didn't think a snake bite would like melt your arm that quickly, but
It's a rattlesnake.
I thought the sucking
rattlesnake
of the
bite.
poison thing was like a Boy Scout thing that you could use to not have to
I think it was
go to the
too
doctor or something.
late. I mean,
Well, it's
rattles-
a good scene where he tries. This old
Yeah.
man
Yeah.
gets down there,
Oh, he's in fucking
tries to
beast
redeem
mode.
himself. Yeah,
he's
and
like,
he's
he's full
the
of
music's
adrenaline. He's
playing.
fucking ready.
Yes, he cares.
that's
about
what I
her.
love. Yeah, that's
And
what I
he's-
loved about this.
He
the
sucks it
final
out
scene
right
here.
away. He knows what the situation is. He's like, "Fuck, this ain't good."
Yeah.
He was trying to tell that redhead kid. He was like, "Yo, you got shot in the leg, man. Like, you got like 3 days. To, like, we could go now. Just tell me what I need to know." And we'll,
Dude, It makes you
we'll get
think
that later.
about
He can see shit. He knows.
makes you think about that shit and like how it was back then, because
Right.
they are days out from any sort of civilization,
Right.
So
But
like if
that's
you get
what's sad,
fucked
though,
up out
because
there,
He gets up and he's like, "All right,
Mhm.
we're gonna go and we're gonna take little Blackie." And they ride that thing
ride through
so
the night,
far,
ride
he
it till
starts,
it's
like,
dead.
he has to stab it in the ass, in the side to keep it going
that
to
was-
get
yeah.
this girl. It was it's a
Pretty-
tough. That's the toughest scene in the whole movie,
Yeah.
I think.
Mhm.
And then it just goes until it can't go, and then instead of letting it, and he's like quick, he's like, "We don't have time for any of this." And then he has to shoot it in the head, and then scoop her up and just keep going.
Keep running, yeah.
And he's like,
Crazy.
"I'm an old man, and I'm fucking."
He's old
beaten
and
up
fat
Oh,
and
I was.
Out of
Yeah.
shape
And
and drunk.
I thought he was gonna die right there when he was. At the end, he's pretty huffing and puffing it pretty bad. I thought he was just gonna have like
Right.
Mhm.
I forgot the guy in Red Dead Redemption, but
Which
you
one?
know.
The first one?
nah, don't worry about it. I thought he was just
so
gonna. I thought he
Arthur?
was just gonna. Yeah, just
Yeah.
gonna fucking keel over and die right there. So
Oh, yeah.
I don't know.
There were a couple
That
of
was
differences, I guess, with the ending from the original movie and this movie, which are, I guess, closer to the book. But in the original movie, apparently LaBeef dies from his injuries.
No,
knew that.
Like he gets
Yeah.
hit in the head with the rock,
Oh.
and then he helps Maddie get out of the snake pit. But Maddie gets bit, and they don't have time to really take LaBeef with them, so he dies in the pit. And like I guess the scene with Cogburn taking Maddie to get help, this one was much more effective because like in the original movie, like yeah, he rides little Blackie, but then they happen upon like a stagecoach that takes them to the rest of the way to the whatever
Okay,
to get her help to the doctor or whatever.
they're out in Indian lands. Like, there's no fucking stagecoaches.
Yeah,
out there.
but in this one,
it's rated G. This is
Yeah.
like the PG-13 part, maybe. So it's like, this is a little heavy, They're gonna be
Another-
stabbing this horse.
another interesting thing that they changed in this movie was apparently Cogburn was the one that ended up killing Chaney in the original movie. Like he got the final shot on him, but in this one, Maddie's the one that shoots
Maddie
him,
does
which
it.
I think is more meaningful since she's she's the one that's avenging her father's death.
She's got the grit. Wow.
And then one more was that in the original ending, like Cogburn and Maddie kind of get like this sort of happy ending. Like Cogburn saves her, she doesn't lose her arm; it's just in a sling at the end. And then like they basically say goodbye and go their separate ways. So like they get some closure and get the happy ending. But in this one, she fucking passes out and then he's gone and she doesn't see him ever again.
LaBeef
Which is
lives, though,
fucking
so it's a happy
crazy.
ending.
I wish
Yeah.
we got an update on the beef too, though, because I mean, we do find out like the end of the story. Like, I don't know why it takes her so long to track down Rooster and to like thank him and see him and all that crap, but I don't know. It was weird. It was like kind of bittersweet towards the end. Like, it
Yeah.
wasn't a
Totally.
happy ending. Like, she fucking lost an arm, which like I did not expect that to happen at the end, but I guess
Right.
It's
it
nice
goes
to
show you,
know.
like how fucking tough the times were. Like,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. I mean, I guess it's some closure that
Oh god.
she got to know that Cogburn kind of, he lived out the rest of his life, basically.
He was 78 when he died. I looked at the
Right.
gravestone. I mean,
Which, I mean, for back
Okay.
then is pretty freaking old.
That's pretty freaking old. Yeah.
for
Yeah.
him, it's pretty
Especially
old.
with his lifestyle and everything. Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was kind of sad, like you said, bittersweet that she never really got to say goodbye and to really thank Cogburn for what he did. Because, I mean, he did save her life, flat out. And, like, we saw how much he cared about her and the lengths he went to get her help at the end of the movie. But, yeah, it doesn't feel like she ever really got closure on her relationship with Cogburn.
He never came
Mhm.
back for the $50,
It's true.
which was probably a lot of money back then.
That is true.
I don't know. I liked it. It was a cool country flick. It was pretty standard and by the books, but it was, the acting was super great. The cinematography was super great.
The
Yeah.
acting is the big
Music
draw for
was-
me.
I think, yeah, the
Music was
acting in
country
that
music, whatever.
that Coen Brothers touch helps it kind of set it apart.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
Jeff
like,
Bridges. I mean, come
Jeff
on.
Bridges, yeah,
he crushed it.
He's just
fucking Haley.
so
could you-
good.
Yeah, they're great. They're great. I just
Mhm.
remember being wowed by the acting when I saw this movie. Like, this is great. I thought it was gonna be like, yeah, Western, watch it, whatever. And I'm like, this is fucking great.
Hmm.
It took me a hot minute, and we know how I get with seeing like popular actors and roles and stuff like that, and seeing Matt Damon as LaBeouf. Like
Oh.
after a little bit, like all right, yeah, I get
Dude,
it.
I
That's
thought he was-
That remind again
Convincing,
going
yeah.
back to his creepy scene where he's staring at her in the dark while she's sleeping. But like when she's like, "How do you know about my me or something?" Like that, he's like, "I'm a ranger." He like looks to the side. He like flashes his
Mhm.
badge. He was so like proud of himself. I'm like, dude, you're
And
so
I love that
amazing."
she instantly shoots him down. Like, that doesn't mean shit around here.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not-
you're from Texas.
yeah.
You're not in Texas anymore.
Right. Also, what was it talking about? What they like? We don't make we make two different fires, one for cooking and one for keeping warm.
He doesn't.
Something like that.
Yeah, I
The
don't.
first night when they were fighting about stuff,
Because he
got
says
mad.
they
Because you
keep
don't
their
have one big
fires
fire.
small or whatever. Like he's not used
He's
to
trying
this
to-
big fire.
He's trying to brag. It's a humble brag.
Trying to act
He's trying to be
tough.
Oh my
fucking.
god.
And yeah, she's like, you live in fucking Texas. It's hot down there. You don't need a big fire to keep you warm.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Funny.
God.
Yeah.
But Artie Fine makes another good point about referring back to the ending of the original. He says, I imagine they couldn't have anybody but John Wayne getting in the last shot.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Apparently, John Wayne doesn't like horses,
Oh, really?
and
Wow.
he rode in a car or like a truck whenever he could. He only did that for movies.
Hmm.
Like you think he's like this guy that
Interesting.
like lives on a ranch for his like no, not a fan of horses. He actually, yeah. I learned a little bit about. I don't know too much about him, but I do know that his acting is not ever impressive to me, and that's probably like sacrilegious to people. Maybe I don't know enough about film or appreciate his work, but like he just sounds like John Wayne, and like I've seen a few movies with him, and they're just it could just be that era, that
Yeah.
time,
I think it's just, yeah.
you know.
Acting has changed over the years, for sure.
Yeah. But he got
Entertainment.
like an Oscar, right? You said or something like that for like this role.
Oh, yeah. In the original, yeah,
Crazy.
John Wayne did. Yeah.
Man, like what came out that year?
Which
Nothing?
this movie
I'm
got
kinda
nominated for like 10 Academy Awards, but it didn't win any of them.
Hmm.
But yeah, like best actor is Jeff Bridges, best supporting or other way around for Haley Steinfeld. But yeah, lots of nominations, but no wins for this year. That one.
What year was it? 2010. Let's see
2010.
who won that year. Hold
Yeah.
on. Ooh, let's see here. Who else we had? We had Javier Bardem for Beautiful, Jeff Bridges for True Grit, Jesse Eisenberg for The Social Network, Colin
Oh,
Firth
that's right.
for The King's
That came
Speech, and
out.
James Franco for 127 Hours. The winner was
Interesting.
The King's Speech.
King's Speech. Correct.
Yeah,
Colin
I
Firth.
remember that.
Well, shit.
Which, I don't know, that's a pretty big cast right there. Pretty big
It is.
set of everybody with J names except for Colin. Huh.
Well, I feel like we're winding down on this one. Do we have any closing comments about True Grit?
No.
Yeah.
No, I don't got nothing to say. I'm out. I'm out of here.
I don't know, bit. No, I thought, I'm glad I watched this one. I feel like I say that every episode, but I'm always glad that I watched a new movie that I haven't seen before.
For sure.
And again, this is another one that I've heard about, and again, I enjoy westerns, so it's just one that I haven't got around to. But I'm glad I did. I'm glad you brought this to us, Brandon. It's again different from what I expected going in, but I was pleasantly surprised.
Coen Brothers. That's
Yeah.
more important. It got Jeff Bridges again with the Coen Brothers. Watch it.
Absolutely. Anything else, or are we good to move
good.
on to
I'm
Act
good.
3?
Let's get going.
All right. We will play a little game after this, and we will see how much you boys know about your Old West trivia.
Oh God.
Right
That is gonna be tough.
after this little break right here. And welcome back to Act 3. We're gonna test your boys' knowledge of a little bit of Old West trivia. See how much you fellas know.
Oh, this is gonna be rough.
This is you guys. Don't worry. You guys can work together on this one. If you win, I don't know, you get 100 gold pieces. But if you
California
lose,
gold pieces.
yeah, you get 100 California gold pieces. But if you lose, you get buried under 6 feet under by the Ned Pepper Gang.
Oh, damn.
This is from usefultrivia.com. Shout out.
Oh.
We'll
We'll see how useful it really is.
we'll make this quick. It's been a long night, so we'll just do 5 questions. Again, you boys are working together, so I guess if you get 3 or more right, then you win. So.
Okay.
All right. Question number 1. Henry McCarty was better known by what nickname? Sundance Kid, Billy the Kid, Kid Colt, or Butch Cassidy?
Billy the Kid.
I don't know who the fuck this would be. Who was the real person's name?
Henry McCarty.
Henry McCarty. And give me the other ones again.
Sundance Kid, Billy the Kid, Kid Colt, or Butch Cassidy?
I think it would be Billy because his name's not Billy. Maybe the first one?
No, I remember reading about Billy. I was trying to learn. He died real young, and his name was not Bill or William or something like that. So that's why I thought it was him.
I'll go with whatever. I'm clueless on country trivia.
Going with Billy?
Gold
Yep.
Billy.
All right. That is correct.
Whoa! Nice,
Born in
Brandon.
New York City in 1859.
Yeah.
He's generally depicted as a ruthless killer, but he only wanted to avenge the murder of his employer who treated him like a son. Only four of the men Billy shot actually died, and these may all be considered acts of self-defense or self-preservation.
Yeah.
And he died at the age of 21.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it was interesting. There's like a couple photos of him out there, and it's just like one was discovered in the news. I was like, yeah, I don't know much about him, and I looked into it, and that name sounded right.
Perfect. Well, yeah, 1 for 1 so far. You're on the right track. Question number 2. What weapon has become known as the gun that won the West? Is it Sharp's Derringer? Is it the Smith & Wesson revolver? The Colt Peacemaker? Or is it the Winchester rifle?
Dave, it's either 2 or 4, right?
I was gonna say Smith.
I've
and
heard of
Wesson
this.
one. Yeah, it does sound familiar. The gun that won the West.
West.
It was what was it? The Derringer, the Smith and Wesson, the Peacemaker.
The Winchester,
Winchester.
is what I'm thinking.
The last one was the Winchester.
Yeah, last one.
Well,
Was
the Winchester also went and I mean he made so much money,
That was the
and they
rifle,
got that
though,
crate.
right?
But you know about the Winchester mansion, right?
I don't know. Please enlighten me.
Please.
Real quick, the widow of Winchester, she got all this money, and she was like, she thought all the people who have been killed by the gun haunt her
Oh.
family. So she starts making
I feel like I've heard this before.
she makes all these updates to the mansion of hallways and doors that go to nowhere. So it's just her mansion it's a tourist attraction. It's a real place. And so I would say Winchester is the one because if it won the West, that mean it made gangbusters, and it made so much money that a crazy old lady started making additions to her mansion that made no
Okay,
sense.
well, all right, you
So-
got the first one on me. I'll let that go. It says "win" in the name too. Winchester. It wins the
So that's
West.
sound logic right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sure. All right. I'll go with it.
Winchester rifles, your final answer?
Sure.
Yeah.
That is incorrect.
It was a
Oh,
6-shooter,
is it
wasn't
a-
it?
The Colt Peacemaker, a
Oh,
45
Peacemaker.
A 45 caliber gun manufactured by Colt's Firing Arms Manufacturing Company in Hartford, Connecticut, was produced for the first time in 1873 and has become known as the gun that won the West. At the time, it sold for $17.
That was a steal.
Damn.
I mean, back then, I don't know what that
Yeah.
equates
I
to,
like-
but
I like when Rooster's like, he's like, I don't buy my liquor, I confiscate it. He just steals it from the people
Yep.
he kills. And I was just like,
All right.
Never makes it back. He takes it in for takes it in as evidence.
but it's
Got
just
it.
like a thing you did back then. You just killed people and you just took the stuff off of the body. It's like kind of a man.
It's a brutal life
Tough
back
life.
then.
Yep.
Yep.
All right. 1 for 2. Here we go. Question number 3. Who's the only woman known to have robbed a stagecoach? Was it Poker Alice, Pearl Hart, Annie Oakley, or Sarah Pierce?
Little Annie Oakley sounds pretty spot on. I don't know a lot of these other ones.
Say the names again, please.
Poker Alice, Pearl Hart, Annie Oakley, or Sarah Pierce?
Annie, Dave.
Sure.
Sure. All right, we'll go with Annie. I don't know.
That is incorrect.
Oh.
I don't think Annie Oakley was a criminal. I think she was just a really good shot. But the correct answer was Pearl Hart. On May 29th, 1899, Pearl Hart and a man named Joe Boot stopped the Globe, Arizona stagecoach and relieved its passengers of all their money, about $400. Feeling badly at leaving her victims penniless, Pearl decided to return $1 to each of them, enough to eat on.
There you go.
See, that's why
Not too
female
bad.
criminals are better than male criminals. Male criminals just take money.
And you're right, Eric.
Take the money
Little
and run.
Annie Oakley was an American sharpshooter who starred in Buffalo Bill's Wild West show.
Yep.
Okay.
She was
Oh,
just known
shit.
as a very good shot. All right. 1 for 3, boys. Ned Pepper Gang's catching up on you.
One more and we lose.
One more and you lose. All right. Question number 4. What percentage of women living in Deadwood, South Dakota in 1876 were prostitutes? Was it 30%, 90%, 70%, or 50%?
90, 70, 50, 30.
Yes. Those are the numbers.
What was the area?
Deadwood, South Dakota in 1876.
South Dakota, too.
South Dakota. What's going on over there?
They got a lot of whores out in South Dakota.
Don't they have Mount Rushmore?
It's in South or North. I don't know which one, but it's in one of the
One
Dakotas.
of the I forget
One
the
of those
Dakotas exist.
Dakotas.
Let's
One
be
of them
honest.
Dakotas.
Let's be honest. That state, those states, nobody remembers. Nobody's talking about them. Nobody's from there.
Hey, what if
Dakotas.
if we have a listener from either of the Dakotas? I want to hear from you with this
I'll
Dakota
check in
slander.
Alexa. How dare you? I don't know.
So-
I'm guessing it's probably pretty high if it's a country like stop on the way out to the west. All them cowboys are probably going out there for the whores on their way out. I would think it would be 70 or 90, but I don't know. 90 seems
Let's
way
think.
too high.
Let's think about that. 90%.
Of the people living in the town are
90%.
whores.
Now,
That's
what
lot
was
of-
the year,
1876.
dude? You know,
it's so far back, like that's like ain't like
it's
it's not
believable
that
that it
long
could be
ago,
90.
but like it's like shit was very different just a couple generations ago.
That is so sad if it's 90%. I don't know. What do you think it's 70, 90?
70 or 90, one of those two. I don't. You're up. I got the last couple wrong.
Well, before he said these numbers, my gut was like 30, 40%.
Really?
Like that's what I just thought, and then he said those
Well,
numbers. I'm
think
like,
about
okay.
how many. I mean, these old west towns were small. There's probably only, I don't know, 50, 100 people in this town, and think about these figures. So it might not be
Right.
that insane. It's
50 sounds reasonable.
I mean, I could be
wrong.
Maybe
the
this
town's
town
just
had
like
2,000 people.
sounds
I don't
just
know.
like saloons.
No,
and
definitely not
saloons
2,000
and
people.
trading posts and a whorehouse. Like that's
Right. It
probably-
could be a pit stop town, right? Like
Yeah.
you're saying. So, do you want to just say 90? Just have fun with it and be like,
that seems crazy, but
you want to do 70? You want
Sure.
to do 70? Do 70. Meet in the middle.
70, 50, somewhere in there. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I don't know.
Come
70 or 50,
close.
you tell me.
Let's do 70.
Half
sure.
of the women. No, let's do
half
70.
of,
Let's have fun.
half of the
It's not-
townspeople or half of the women?
Half of it. It's the percentage of women living in Deadwood.
Percentage of women. Okay, yeah.
Well, I don't think they're a
70,
male
70
prostitute.
sounds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
70.
Because if it's
How
70%
many?
of the whole population, that's a whole different story.
Yeah, what do we got, Eric?
70%. Is that your final answer?
I want to say 90 because it's more interesting, but we'll do 70.
Are you sure you want to go with 70?
I
know.
don't think. Let's go with 90 then, Brandon. Let's get spicy.
Let's go spicy. Let's get, 90. Fuck it, 90.
It has been estimated that 90% of women living in Deadwood, South
Wow.
Dakota in 1876 were prostitutes. It was difficult for a woman to make a living in the American West, especially if she did not have the protection of a father or husband, and many single women turned to prostitution as their only option.
So that was like a thing in Unforgiven. All those girls in the beginning, they had nowhere to go, and they just needed a place, and that woman was trying to take care of them, but those guys were like beating them up and stuff, and
Yep.
they just treated them
All right.
horribly. But
One of Ned Pepper's gang's horses just broke their leg. You're almost there to the
They're
to the
on their
pile
Oregon
of
Trail.
gold.
Dave is behind the rocks, and I'm standing there. Radio Pierce.
You got 2 for 2, so it all comes down to this last question. All right.
All right.
Here we go. Question number 5. How long did the gunfight at the OK Corral last? Was it 30 minutes? Was it 13 minutes? Was it 30 seconds? Or was it 1 minute and 13 seconds?
That's a very,
Ooh.
it's a very precise account of the evening. 1 minute and 13 seconds, like somebody's sitting there counting it.
Yeah, I know. Right? Whoa, that was quick.
He looked at his watch right before it started popping off.
Holy shit!
I know. How would they possibly know that time at that time? Like, how would you know within seconds? You'd have been like, "What happened? Oh man, it was over real quick. Like, how long? I don't know, like a minute,
In 13
Minute
seconds?
13.
13
It
seconds.
was about a minute 13.
Yeah, maybe 14. Yeah, that's so specific. I don't know. That's
Gunfight.
distracting.
It's a famous gunfight though, so I figured it'd have to be.
What's famous about it?
Probably the most famous.
I don't know.
I only know it by name, but
It's
like,
just
what
like
happened?
just by name, like it's like the showdown at the OK Corral, kind of like that's like the Western showdown. It's the classic.
30
which-
minutes, 13 minutes.
30 seems like too long.
30 minutes, 13 minutes, 30 seconds, 1 minute, 13 seconds.
Yeah. I feel like it's 30 minutes. Because it's like easier for somebody
long
to
gunfight.
say that.
You ever seen
Well,
a
why else would it be so
gunfight in
popular?
a Western movie? Like 30 minutes?
It seems like a long
Movie-
time. It seems like everybody would be dead by then. So I was thinking 13, but then 13 is like it might be a minute 13 seconds. I don't know.
Like it was just over real quick.
Yeah.
All
Just
right.
A lot of people were dead. I don't know. I wasn't there.
Whenever it's just smoke is going on
It's
and
just
bodies are on the ground.
everybody- I mean, I could see it being 30.
I don't
half-
know. I
half
don't
a
know.
minute.
Okay, corral. What's a corral? That's just like
Just like
where
a-
horses
I think it's a
do like.
saloon or whatever. The OK Corral was the saloon, I believe.
Corrals and saloons are the same thing.
I don't know. I don't know.
I thought a corral had
Corral is
like
for horses, but I don't know why
yeah,
you'd be having a
horses,
shootout at a horse place.
they were doing a show.
Where is such
Hey,
idiots?
Siri.
I don't know.
What's a corral? A corral is a pen for horses, cows, or other livestock.
So it's not a saloon, so they're probably sober. Well, I don't know about that.
Maybe they're coming trying to rob the horses, and the farmers are just protecting themselves.
So it's probably a proper shootout. A saloon would be done in like within a minute, but I feel like at a corral, it's not
Takes
really
a little
like a
bit for
place
the
where you.
marshals to get there.
Yeah, it's just setting up. You just don't know you're not ready to like shoot. I don't think at a corral. Things just happened there. 13 minutes sounds pretty good.
I'm with it.
13 or 30. I don't know, Dave. You pick.
I'll go 13. 13.
I got lucky
See,
with
30
it.
seems too long, and it's too
It
perfect
seems
of a
long.
number. How would somebody know that it's 30 minutes? About
Just pick a
28 minutes.
fucking answer.
13, I say.
13 minutes is your final answer?
13. Yeah, I say.
All right. The gunfight at the OK Corral was a 30-second shootout
Oh,
between lawmen and members of a loosely organized group of outlaws that took place at about 3 p.m. on Wednesday, October 26, 1881 in Tombstone, Arizona. It's generally regarded as the
Tombstone,
most famous shootout in American West history. It says about 30 shots were fired in 30 seconds. Some of the two opposing parties were initially only about 6 feet apart. The gunfight was a result of a long simmering feud between cowboys and some deputy town marshals. So,
Oh, shit.
Okay. Yep, there you go. We
30
overthought that, and it was
seconds.
over quick.
30-second shootout.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam.
They were going to say 30 minutes. I was going to be all upset.
I got you.
know.
I got you there.
That's a lot of minutes.
Got
That's
you
a lot
there.
of bullets.
Well, boys,
Thanks.
the Ned Pepper gang caught up to you, and
And
they
murdered
shot you all in the
us.
head, and now you're dead. The end. Well,
Can't even bury us because the ground is
it was
hard.
close. That's true. Gonna have to wait till the warmer months.
Oh,
But
don't leave
you
me so
almost-
the wolves eat my body.
you almost got away, but that Ned Pepper gang, they got you.
Dave got shot, but I got away.
Yeah, that's probably.
I remember you.
You shot Dave's horse and slowed them down.
Stab it.
It's like Walking Dead.
Right. Yep. Oh, poor Otis. Anyways.
Oh wow, that's like season
Oh, this
1 or
is a good
2,
one.
right?
Season
Yep.
2. Yeah, baby.
Oh, I forgot about that. Wow,
Yep.
when the show was good.
We're still chugging through it. We're on like season 9, halfway through season 9 or so. So we're almost there. But
Wow.
that's just we just throw it on every now and then. But it's a good one.
I like it.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, let's get out of here. It's been
Take
a
me home.
long take me home, country road. To the place. All right, we gotta get out of here. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram, follow us at Nomads of Fantasy. If you want to join our Discord, chat with us, whatever about games, movies, all that stuff, play our game, what map game, post your results in there. The nomadsofantasy.com/Discord. The nomadsofantasy.com and nomadsofantasy.com also.
All of them.
They get you to the same place. But nomadsofantasy.com/Discord.
Send your suggestions if you have them. You never know. Because like maybe we haven't seen it. Maybe it's something that's in our list or something like that or whatever. But like I love when people suggest stuff to us because we've
Absolutely.
done a couple episodes just randomly.
Yep. Yep.
Mhm.
Advocating for the Discord. I mean, we got Artie Fine, a very valued Discord member in our Twitch chat right now. So come chat with him. He's, fantastic. Fantastic person, always supporting us, chatting with us. Love it. Love all of the whatever, everybody in our Discord. Tejas, Driving Divan, Jake, all you guys. Artie Fine. Great people in there. It's fun. Come chat with us.
Chill.
nomadsfantasy.com/Discord. Build up
and
our community.
Our
Yes.
guests stay in the Discord and they chat,
Yeah.
which is always cool because, like, if they're from, whatever, they have their own perspective that we thought was interesting. They hop on.
I mean,
And
they must
stick
have.
around and they join in some of the conversations and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
they must have liked us enough to stick around. I mean, you could always leave the Discord server, but I don't think anyone that's joined our Discord server has ever left. So that tells
Well,
you
that's
something.
nice.
That tells you something.
Yeah.
All right.
It's because it's chill. It's really just kind of post chat little and yeah,
Right. Right.
that's good.
Yeah, other than that, you can email us nomadsfantasy.com.
Oh, forget that
nomadsfantasy@gmail.com if you want to email us there. We never get emails. So if you want to send us something there, comments, questions, suggestions, anything
So-
you want.
Get some.
Yeah, we get
few
some
for-
every now and then. Very
Yeah.
rarely, but if you send us something there, we will read it, no matter what it is. So feel free to send.
Good to know.
Feel free
Good
to
to
send
know.
a game suggestion too. We're always looking for new game suggestions. I
Fuck
know
yeah,
I know
please.
Tejas in our Discord was cooking something up for a game
Talking
suggestion
about
as well.
the trivia game at the
Yeah.
end that we do.
Yep.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're always up for new suggest because we're always looking to mix it up with our final game at the end here. So yeah, anything you got, send it our way. But yeah, other than that, I think that's all I got. Merch store as well. I mean, that's up there. nomadsofantasy.com. Just click on the merch link if you want some cool shit. Hopefully we'll get more stuff up soon. But other than that, I think that's all I got for you. So as always, until next time, safe travels, nomads.
We supposed to be recording?